And we're back for part 3. So I last left off with doing number 1 and number 2, returned, and the next one is stupefied. So if we're going back over here to the reading. Oh, and actually, I was also thinking that perhaps it would be a good idea to review parts of speech because, you know, sometimes if you don't use them every day, or especially when it comes to, well, you use them every day, but when it comes to official writing or for test taking and things like that, a review of parts of speech would be nice. And so here I have, let's see, did I pull up parts of speech? Oh yes, parts of speech culture. Here we go. So again, parts of speech, because you can see on the worksheet that it says asking for the parts of speech that what the word might be. So I'm going to review the parts of speech here. We have a noun. Remember, a noun being a person, place, or a thing, or an idea, such as dog, cat, teacher, house, flower, shoe. Pronouns, a word that replaces a noun in a sentence. So he, she, I, it's, me, that, this, us, who, you. Proper nouns, a noun that names a person or a thing, like John, California, USA, the Pacific Ocean. Verbs, and verbs are the ones that I've used so far in our example worksheet. Verbs are a word that shows action or being, like run, jump, laugh, play, single, eat, and throw. And so going back to here, overspread, that's an action. Overspread across the chin or across the face, whatever it said. Yes, a puzzled grin overspread across the round face. So that's an action. And returned, that's an action too. Yes, returned, Phileas. So you can tell that that's an action too. So therefore, the parts of speech would be verbs. I will say that it might be easier to actually fill out the rest of the questions first. Like for number 3, skip over parts of speech and go to what do you think it means and what were the clues, and then do parts of speech if you're not sure. And it might be a little bit easier to figure out what type of part of speech it is after you fill in the rest of the question. So again, the verb are those action words, and an adjective is a word that describes a noun. So like fast, pretty, blue, too, old, smart, or small. Adverbs describe a verb or an adjective, like badly, quickly, fully, very, really, never. A preposition shows relationship between two words, above, before, on, between, near, or under. Conjunctions connect words, phrases, and clauses, like and, or, but, yet, like, because there's one too. Yet, so, unless, either, because. Interjection, exclamations that express strong feelings. Oops, great, aha, ouch, hooray, or oh. And then, so those are your parts of speech. I will say, though, for this sheet that we'll be only using either verbs, adjectives, or nouns. So we only have to be concerned with the verbs, adjectives, or nouns. So if you need to go back, rewind to take a look again at the parts of speech. For this worksheet, we're just solely dealing with either nouns, verbs, or an adjective. Remember, adjectives describe. Verb is an action word. Nouns, person, place, thing, or idea. Okay, so let's go back. Now I'm going to take a look at number 3 and do one more with you, and then I might skip down and do another one and then leave the rest for you. Okay, so we left off here with the reading. You're going around the world. Okay. Passepartout, I cannot pronounce that name, can't even see it clearly. Passepartout, whichever. This dude opened wide his eyes, raised his eyebrows, held up his hands, and seemed about to collapse. So overcome was he with stupefied astonishment. Okay, so reading the passage again. He opened wide his eyes, raised his eyebrows, held up his hands, and seemed about to collapse. So overwhelmed was he with stupefied astonishment. So stupefied astonishment. Okay, so taking a look at this, what does stupefied mean? Well, you're going to take a look to figure out what does the word stupefied sound like? Stupid, right? Now, of course, it's never nice to say stupid. I was always taught never say stupid. That's a bad word, or you don't call anything stupid. Or there's no stupid questions, that type of thing. But it sounds like that, doesn't it? Yes, because that's part of the root word with it, okay? So if we go over here, okay, remember, this is also still 1873 century English writing. All right, so stupefied. Let's skip over to parts of speech. Remember how we said that that might be easier to do last? What do you think it means? Well, what do you think it means? Hey, let me go over here and type in. What do I think it means? And I don't like to use the word stupid, remember? So, and this is in context clues. We're talking about how he is just amazed, how they're going to go across on his trip around the world. And so, he's astonished, right? He raised his eyebrows like, what? Held up his hands and seemed about to collapse, okay? So to me, it's not so much as the context clues or the root word probably stupid, kind of sounds a little bit more confused. So I'm going to type in confused here. So what do you think it means? I'm confused. I'm not confused. I think he is confused, right? Let's do it again. Confused. Not the best. Confused. There we go. So now, and then what were my clues? Thinking that it meant confused or, even stupid. This is what tells me. He has his eyebrows raised, held up his hands, raised his eyebrows, held up his hands. Seemed to collapse. Those are signs of confusion. Raised eyebrows, held up hands. There we go. And so now with that, so we got this part in, right? And so now let's go back and take a look at what kind of parts of speech that stupefied might mean. Okay, so stupefied is what? So, again, reading from where it's coming from, held up his hands and seemed about to collapse. So overwhelmed was he with stupefied astonishment. This is describing astonishment, okay? What kind of astonishment? Wasn't sad astonishment, wasn't happy astonishment. It was stupefied astonishment. So stupefied is what kind of word? The key thing I said was describe. And we're looking again at our parts of speech. The type of word that describes is going to be an adjective. So that's what we're going to write here. So here, stupefied, part of speech, adjective. Adjective. There we go. Okay. So now let's go take a look at, I'm going to go do one more. So, let's take a look at number 9. There we go. The third, I think that's a T. The worksheet's not that great. Virtue. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not even sure. So let's go ahead and I'm going to take a look at this word. Where is that in the reading? Aha. Here it is. Let me see if I can skip some of this and actually do one at the middle. I'll start with reading from right here, looking at number 9. But surely a gentleman so chary of his steps would stop there. No doubt. But then it was none the less true that he was going away. So this so domestic person, hitherto. Okay. So hitherto, I think that's a T, right? Right. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. Actually, I have no idea. So here we go. But surely a gentleman so chary of his steps would stop there. No doubt. But then it was none the less true that he was going away. This so domestic person, hitherto. Okay. So by this word right here, what's going to mean? So I'm thinking it's going to mean something that has to do kind of almost like the opposite in this part of the phrase right here. But surely a gentleman so chary of his steps. Less than sure that he's going away. So okay. So I'm reading again to myself, looking for my keys to figure out if I can understand what it means. What do I think it means? So domestic person. It was nonetheless true that he was going away. So this domestic person. So I think it means, again, speaking Old English is kind of difficult to decipher, but for me, I think it's saying that this person used to be. So this person used to be, no doubt, but then it was nonetheless true that he was going away. So this domestic person, before. Aha. So again, here from my context, before. Before. remind me not to use this part again. Before. On it. Okay. And how do I know this? Here, let me point out. So with this paragraph right here, and I actually had to read it like 3 or 4 times because I skipped around to go to this little small part right over here. And what I have is that sounds like be surely gentlemen, so chary of his steps, would stop here. So looking at someone that would stop, without hesitation, but then realize that he was going away. And then saying this person, this domestic person before. This domestic person before now. This domestic person. So, to me, what this is meaning, and this is like the hardest one, that's why I wanted to go through it with you, is that steps would stop here, no doubt. So he thought he was going to stop, but he didn't. And was nonetheless so true that he was going away. In fact, he was just walking away. So this domestic person before us. So kind of like saying before. So my key words is saying, okay, this person before me. Okay. Context for me would be the person before me, and yours might be completely different because this is a hard one. This person before me. Okay, and I'm going to leave that one here. And then, so we'll discuss the rest of this page when we get together on Saturday. But the rest of these words, you probably have an easier time than for question number 9. In fact, before I go, you know what? We're going to go ahead and use the trusty dictionary just to make sure. And then see that word. See if it was anything close to it. H-I-T. Oh, look at that. Pops right up, doesn't it? So, until now. Until now or until the point in time under discussion. That's perfect. To the point of time under discussion. So not only that, but I just learned something too, my friends. Until now. Yes, so that's what I was saying. This I thought it was like kind of meant like before, because that was the indication I was getting. So you had this person, but now at this time it doesn't look like he's going to do what he's supposed to do, what you thought he was going to do. So I was thinking that it meant this person before me or before. So again, that does make sense. Let me look back. So until now, or until the point in time under discussion. So that was a very hard word. I've never used this in everyday language. I'm not sure if many people do, again, because it is 18th century English. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. That was good with the discussion and stuff, but good for the learning process because, hey, we're all still learners at one point or another. The last thing I wanted to make sure that you took a look at, and these are the 2 pages that are from the book. So if you have the book, you can use these 2 pages with lesson 13. Let's see. So lesson 13, and actually this is the first page 26, and that should be page 27. I put them in backwards, but you get the idea. So here, and I believe it's in this book, page 26. Simon Wheeler's story, so it's in the blue one. If you don't have the blue one, it's okay. I just, you can just print out these pages. I'll bring some with me on Saturday. So page 26 and 27. Again, working with the context clues. So read this part first, see if you can answer question number 1, and then going to page 27. You've got a little paragraph again, one up here, and then you can answer this question and this question. So it's a little bit of short exercises, especially if you don't feel like going through all the other pages that I just reviewed for you. So again, we will go over it on Saturday, and I'll see you then. Good luck. Email me if you need anything. Okay.